Looks like we've got another big Warhammer 40k unit leak today. Seems that Mr. Lionel Johnson is going to have some Lions Guard attendance, so let's take a look at the new box set and what we're going to get. Hello and welcome back to Warspets Tactics, where today we're talking about Games Workshop's latest Primarch release once more, returning to Mr. Lionel Johnson. Now it seems that we finally know how he's going to be sold. The new and shiny Primarch of the Dark Angels has made a big splash. Lots of people are really quite looking forward to getting their hands on him, and now it seems that we have details as to how you're going to be able to when he comes out alongside the Lion book. As I mentioned in a video a day or so back, I'm going to be giving away a few copies of Lionel Johnson, 6 different copies of the model in the channel's monthly giveaway. Feel free to stick around to the end of the video if you want to learn how you can enter for that if you want to. So as mentioned, Games Workshop basically announced Lionel Johnson is returning to Warhammer 40k. It was kind of an open secret for really quite a long time, though they hadn't given us any sort of clear hint as to how he was actually going to be sold to us, though there had been rumours. Sometimes Games Workshop likes to put their new character models in a great big box. In the past we've also had character models packaged in threes, like the Gilliman Triumvirate one when he came back at the end of 7th. It seems that now though someone's got their hands on the actual box set of the Lion early, and it looks like he's going to be packaged alongside Bladeguard veterans, making up a quartet of models called the Lions Guard. The leaked photos that we've got are both of the front and the back of the box. This one really doesn't look like it's a fake, really quite clearly shrink wrapped with reflections in it and everything. I feel like it's one of the ones that would be far more effort to fake than it would really be worth. It also does kind of fit in Games Workshop style right now as well. They've already just done a big Dark Angels box set with Azrael vs Vashtor. I think it was kind of unlikely that they were going to repeat it with another Dark Angels one really quite so soon. And yet, given their recent releases, it also seemed kind of unlikely that Lionel Johnson will be released completely on his own at the same sort of deal as Gilliman is. I feel like the Forge World resin Primarchs have kind of shown that people will buy these big centerpiece models at truly ridiculous prices, to be honest. Most of those cost like £100 or over $150 US, and Games Workshop kind of knows that why just sell one model when you could get away with selling 4? That appears to be the idea here. In terms of the leak itself, it's not really too clear where it's come from. I saw it first on Facebook and Instagram. Looks like they're ahead of Discord for once. Lots of different ways that someone might have been able to get their hands on a box set early. It could well be another one of their shipping errors like they did with Dante. They do send out these miniatures to some talented painters ages in advance. Maybe one of those hasn't been too careful with images of the box set. Or it could be some sort of leak in logistics perhaps. Someone being sent a delivery of these for shipping later in the month or something. And then they've just got one out to have a look at it and taken some photos. Look at the actual box. Here we have the front of it. Maybe not the biggest all singing and dancing box set. It doesn't even have Lionel Johnson on the front. It does look like it's going for meaning serious business though, with just the Dark Angels chapter logo and the title Warhammer 40k The Lions Guard. There's a bigger and a smaller image here. It looks like the smaller one is a bit more complete and you can see the edges of the box. The closer, more zoomed in one is better detail though. On the bottom left hand corner it says there's 4 miniatures in the box. Then over on the back of the box we've got Lionel Johnson, and it looks like he's just attended by 3 different Bladeguard veterans, and if anything I would count this as a bit of a disappointment. It doesn't clearly look like they've got any unique Dark Angels parts whatsoever, at least at first glance. I guess we can't see the entirety of the image of the back of the box, but if 3.5 of the fancy Bladeguard veterans don't have anything, I think there's at least a reasonable chance that the 4th one doesn't either. I suppose it's not impossible that the thing on the top left could be something like a banner perhaps, though perhaps that's just wishful thinking, and it's just some other part of the promotional images, and it's not actually related to the model below it at all. If I see any clarification on that, I'll post it on a pinned comment down below if we do get the entirety of the back of the box. The other 2 ones do just basically seem to be standard Bladeguard though, which is kind of sad really, as I was kind of hoping for some unique Deathwing sculpts. I feel like something like a few jazzed up Terminators in the style of the ones that are coming for 10th would be absolutely excellent. It does go a bit up against other things that they've done in the past for units like this though, say Marnius Calgar and his Honour Guard. He's got some stylish Ultramarine ones. Bit of a shame that they didn't make the same sort of effort for the Chapter Master of the Dark Angels, even if it was a few unique fancy Bladeguard bits to add a little bit of theme to the models beyond things like transfers. I think there's at least a reasonable chance though that seeing as he's being bundled in the same box as some Bladeguard, that there might be some kind of rule support for this little formation. Maybe the Bladeguard veteran squad will get some nice bodyguard rules for him perhaps, or be able to fight a little bit harder if they're alongside him. Will be interesting to see where they go with that. I'd guess it might be a rule on Lionel Johnson's datasheet when we finally get it. It is going to be fun to look over his rules and points and things. Otherwise, beyond that, on the box, there's the repost of the various different heads that you can give him. Games Workshop have given us the information for some variant bits for him already, and I think it's really quite cool that they go the whole hog of giving him 4 different head options, whether you want him to have a winged helm, a bear head, or something all Dark Angels and hooded monk-like. Here are the other back and side views of him as well. I think the Watchers in the Dark are really quite fun, carrying the scabbard for his nice new sword fealty, holding a little scepter aloft, and there's a close-up of the shield that's known as the Emperor's Shield as well in his other arm. Price-wise, it might just be a little bit unfortunate though. It was looking like Mr. Lionel Johnson might have genuinely been quite a cheap miniature. Guilliman's only £42.50, €55 or $70, which is quite expensive for any one bit of plastic, I guess. But in terms of points and being a focal point of your army, it's not really the worst deal as Games Workshop goes. If Lionel Johnson was the same as that would be really quite nice for such a cool mini. But now it looks like he's probably going to be permanently bundled with some extra Bladeguard, £35, €45 or $60 from Games Workshop. If we just smash those two prices together, it looks like he's more looking at £80, €100 or $130. It could be more than that if GW decides that Mr. Lionel Johnson is worth more than Guilliman, or it could be a bit less if they decide that bundling him with the Bladeguard is enough to net you a bit of a discount on the overall deal. This does kind of smack of wanting to push a few extra models though. Games Workshop know that people will pay a premium to get Mr. Lionel Johnson, and are cashing in knowing that a lot of people will just eat up the extra Bladeguard that they might or might not want, the draw of getting a new Primarch being enough to sell you on the box overall. I feel like it would have been a different story if there'd been new sculpts in the box though, that just would have been really cool. Kind of a shame that they didn't make the effort for that. Otherwise, release-wise, I think he's likely to be within the month. The Arcs of Omen books have been releasing around about every 2 to 4 weeks, and we've only just recently had the Farsight one, so probably out sometime in April or maybe early May at latest. I'd guess that Games Workshop might well acknowledge this tomorrow. They at least fairly often acknowledge leaks when they come out early. I guess we'll wait and see. So anyway, let me know what you make of the Lions Guard, and while we're on the subject of fancy newly awoken Primarch, I thought I'd just mention the Auspex Tactics giveaway for May, and this one will feature 6 copies of Mr. L. Johnson. I had already committed to this one before I knew how he'd be packaged, and maybe slightly breathing a sigh of relief that he isn't in an enormous great big box set. I think knowing that I will keep it at 6 of them, so that means you'll get his Bladeguard attendants as well in the box. As normal with the channel's monthly prize giveaways, there's 2 equal ways to enter, both of them linked down in the video description. Either you can support the channel on Patreon for any amount, it is what allows me to keep on making all these videos quite so regularly, gets you free entry to these giveaways each month, as well as a few other perks. Otherwise, you can also choose to enter for free by entering on social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook page, and then to actually enter the draw, check back to the Facebook page on the 1st of May, a giveaway post appears, reply to that giveaway post with a picture of any 40k miniature, plus your name and the date handwritten within the same photo, the last bit just to ward off Facebook bots and spammers. Then after all that's done, I take all of the Patreon and Facebook entries, put them all into a random number generator, pick out the 6 winners, and they will be announced on the channel's update video on YouTube around the 4th of the month. I do tend to do these ones every month. There's still time to enter for the April one as well, which will be 4 copies of the Vashdor box. The Facebook post will be going live on the 1st once more. In any case, check the links down in the video description if you want to help out the channel on Patreon or take a look at the Facebook. Let me know what you think though. I must admit it's maybe not the most exciting news in the world. I really was hoping when I first saw the box of this that it would turn out to be something like a really nice resculpted squad of Deathwing Terminators to back up the Primarch. Let me know what you make of it though, and what you make of Lionel Johnson coming alongside some Dark Angels Bladeguard to lead the charge into the ranks of Angron and Vashdor. In any case, an absolutely massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.